welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be reviewing tips for troubleshooting and replacing the EVAP Purge Valve on this 2015 Toyota Highlander. Now let's get started. So you might ask, what are some of the symptoms associated with the EVAP Purge Valve? Well, before we get started, let me go ahead and point out where it's located. The valve is located right here. It's a black box, and it's got one electrical connector and two hoses, one hose connection on top and one hose connection on the side. Okay, so what are some of the symptoms you might be experiencing? Well, you could have a rough idle, you could have poor engine performance, and I'm talking fairly bad gas mileage, 2 to 3 miles per gallon less than normal. And obviously you're going to have a check engine light. The P code you're going to see initially is a P0441, but you could have other P codes like P0442 and 443. I'm going to go over some basic troubleshooting that would lead up to the replacement of the valve itself, but it's really important that you perform these steps first, or you could be replacing the wrong item and wasting time. Figure out if you have faulty vacuum hoses or any leaks. So you have one vacuum hose right here, okay? There's a connection here, there's a connection there at the valve itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it off. Looks good, I'm gonna set that to the side. Then on top, there's another connection right there. I could have used my pliers to pull that off. You're gonna check this all the way, very thoroughly. Look for any small cracks, okay? All the way down, all the way down, all the way down, and check it all the way back to the firewall. Now you go ahead and connect them back up. Let me show you a pro tip here. Say hypothetically there was a crack right here. You say, oh, bad hose, small leak, okay. You could go and buy a brand new hose, or you could take some high temperature black tape, wrap it around here, maybe 3 times, make sure it's nice and tight and clean, and you're done. That's gonna seal that crack up. Right here, we've got some micro cracks here. I wouldn't be worried about these micro cracks unless they're showing on the side, okay? All right, so go ahead and slide that back on. I'm gonna slide that on there. So we've checked all our hoses, we fixed one crack, and now what you should do at this point is recheck the fault that could have been associated with that cracked hose. Clear that fault. If that clears the check engine light, you're finished. But we're gonna continue on because we checked and we're still showing a leak. So now the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna check your fuel cap. Now, fuel caps either work or they don't. Buy yourself a new OEM fuel cap. I think people expect them to last longer than they actually do, but think about it. We use them every 300 to 400 miles. We're wrenching on them, and I think we expect a little bit too much considering that it's part of a pressurized system. I would recommend that you go ahead and replace that cap. Once the cap is replaced, go back, check again, and recheck and see if you've cleared the code, okay? If the code still is not clear, now I come back to the EVAP Purge Valve, which is gonna be the most expensive item, right? And you're gonna focus all your energy on replacing the purge valve itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you really quick how that can be removed. So that's your 10 millimeter bolt. Bolt is connected to a bracket that holds the valve itself. So be careful. Okay. I'm gonna disconnect the side hose, disconnect the top hose, and I'm just gonna show you for reference that you would take your cross tip screwdriver and just undo that screw right there. Disconnect this connector right here. Get rid of the valve, put your new valve in, Install your screw, install your connector, and then now one thing you have to do is reconnect your bracket. Okay, 7 to 10 pounds of foot pressure. This has to be snug. Just connect your lower hose, connect your upper hose, and that's it. Folks, that wraps up the troubleshooting and replacement of the EVAP Purge Valve. I hope you found my tips to be helpful. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, drive defensively.